Today, we've got a brand new swivel knife challenge for you. That's coming up. Hello everyone, my name is Daniel Reach. This is Weaver Leather Supply. Today, we're going to be taking on a brand new swivel knife challenge. And when you look at the pattern, which is this one right here, you might be looking at that and thinking, well, that doesn't look nearly as complicated as some of the other ones that we've done. And as far as the overall pattern, you'd be right about that. But what this does have that some of the other ones didn't, it has curved cuts that are tapered on both ends. And that is going to push you to make sure that you focus on tapering in and tapering out while maintaining that curve. So as always, I've already taken care of the prep steps. That would be casing, tracing, and taping. And just so we're kind of on the same page here, I'm using about a 5-ounce Herman Oak veg tan. With that, we can go ahead and get to cutting. I'll jump back in a little while once the project's rolling. So one of the things I really like about this pattern is, in reality, you can start wherever you want to. It really doesn't matter. Now, what I tend to do is start with the easier cuts. And the reason I want to do that is it gives me a little bit of a warm-up before I jump into those more complicated, difficult cuts, which in this pattern, there's really not very many of those, if any. So a good general rule with swivel knife cuts is that if a line doesn't start butted up against another cut or dead end into another cut, you need to taper it. So if it's open on one end, you would taper the beginning, and if it dead ends, you stop blunt. If it's open, you just taper it on out. So with the majority of these, they're going to be open on both ends, which means we need to taper in and taper out while maintaining the curve. So one thing I want to mention is that not all the cuts have to be the same depth. The ones that you cut the deepest will have the most focus on them. And I'm not going to tell you which ones to cut deeper, because I want you to start thinking through which lines should have the most focus on them and why. Once you've got it cut in, we can go ahead and move over to the modeling spoon. And the outside of the lion is really simple. The entire outside of the lion should be beveled to the outside. Now, inside the lion, inside the pattern, that's a different story. You're going to want to think about where you want those shadows to fall. We aren't just adding a bevel here, we're creating shadows. Now, for me, I pictured him closing his eyes and letting the sun warm his face. So think through, how would the shadows play off his coat and which angles would they land at? Once you've worked through the pattern with the modeling spoon, we can start working on that tooling window and the background. Now, a few of you that are a little bit more sharp-eyed might have noticed that I hadn't got all the lines inside the lion just yet, and that's because I missed them. But no worries, we'll come back and get to those in just a little while before we finish the project. So the way I'm working in the background is I'm putting my finger in the scoop of that modeling spoon and I'm applying light circular pressure to the background. We want those circles to be kind of as irregular as possible. And the amount of pressure that you put on the background really is going to depend on the amount of moisture you have in the leather. The more moisture there is, the lighter touch you need. Well, that is going to do it for this video. I will see you in the next one. In the meantime, go make something amazing.